right, everybody, welcome back. I'm still F. Dot, and I'm sitting here right with Cret. We are in Atlanta, Georgia for the Smite launch tournament. You excited for this next matchup, Cret?
I really can't wait. We're going to be seeing SNIPE Gaming, and they suffered a crushing loss yesterday. We'll see if they've been able to recover their morale.
That's definitely true, and they're going to be playing against SK Gaming, and I'm personally really excited for this matchup. It's an even matchup, two teams that are very similar to one another, both in and outside of the game.
Yeah, they're both really emotional teams, momentum-based, but very strong. And SK, we're saying they're both momentum-based. SK just came off of a great victory, whereas SNIPE has come off of a defeat. But they've had more than 12 hours to come to terms with it.
Exactly, and SNIPE has had a couple of victories of their own, both on and off the field, so very excited about that stuff. Excited for the future, and excited for the immediate future in this game as well. Once again, this is still a best of 3, and like I said before, these teams are evenly matched. Don't be surprised if we take it to 3.
Yeah, and when we're talking about evenly matched, these are both of the third seed teams from NA and EU facing off to see which is, well, the winning third seed, the better third seed. And
at least in this set.
It's going to be a very interesting matchup, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen with these two teams. Now, we have gotten pulled into the picks and bans stage. We'll have that up on your screen shortly, but now we've got some now we've got some picks and bans. On the left with first pick, it's going to be SK Gaming. That's Badger, Captain Twig, Reels X, Proxy QQ, and NQ. And on the right, SNIPE Gaming.
Yeah, and you know, we just spoke to Proxy as the Nemesis band comes out on the SK side. And wow, is he a character or what? Trust me, he's the same guy on camera and off. Like, we've hung out, we've spent all this time, you know, we're all very, the Smite community is so close and so inclusive, you know, Proxy is just the same on camera and off, and one of the most exciting things, as Cret points out, the Hell ban. Tell me why that's exciting.
Because Wolfie as hell is disgusting. I mean, you know, every so often there's a character that comes into a game and just plays, comes into a tournament and plays a character to a level that's unbelievable and unmatchable. One of those players is Captain Twig with Chalk Mid. We do see that banned.
Yep. And
the other player in this match is, I would say, Wolfie with Hell. However, tier's going to go through for the first time in a long time, and Wolfie's tier is also... Honestly, I think NQ and Wolfie are the two best tier players at this tournament.
That's very true. Shing also plays tier as well to a decent level, so that's something to look out for. But I really like...
Oh, no. Zeus Odin.
Zeus Odin. We
Zeus
do
Odin.
see the Zeus pick come up, and then the Odin is there. We'll see if they're locked in. Vamana's going to be locked in. That's most likely going to go to NQ. We've seen him do work, and there is the Zeus Odin combo. Very scary.
Yeah, we have seen that SNIPE Gaming is not afraid to play against Zeus. They let Zeus go through against Cognitive Gaming 3 games in a row, and MLC Stealth repeatedly first pick that character. However, Zeus Odin is a different thing, and once again, we're going to see Neath, Bastet hovered over and locked in. Bastet locked in. That's going to be a very good combo to deal with Zeus because of the World Weaver into the cat call. It could be very, very strong. Athena likely going to be played by Nick in that support role.
Incontinentia, of course, is who
Nuwa?
Nuwa. We see a Nuwa hovered over. We'll see if that gets picked. A very unconventional, not a high tier pick. As you can see, pick ban rate of 1%. She's been picked exactly 4 times. One of Cret's favorites. What does Nuwa have to offer for one of those people that...
You know, I really enjoy Nuwa as a character because she brings very interesting things to the table. We'll go through her abilities one by one. There's the fog. You move 30% faster and you're invisible. Nuwa will be locked in, so we will be seeing a Nuwa.
There we go.
Likely in that jungle role. The fog makes you move 30% faster. It does more damage than you think it does, and at rank 5 does a base of 50 damage. Probably more like 70 damage per second. That is a significant amount.
It definitely is.
The second ability is the iconic Nuwa ability, Clay Minion. It is very useful in a specific set of circumstances, and it does nothing. It does something that no other non-ultimate ability can do. Isn't summon minions that tank towers and objectives for you. It's very, very strong in that respect. But for the most part, it's just used to put Nuwa into snake form. We'll touch on that later. Flame Strike is a great ability. It's got roughly the same hitbox and casting. It feels just like Kronos' Time Rift.
Okay.
But it stuns. It does a little DOT. It does increasing damage as Nuwa is close to the player, and is a very strong ability, especially because of the DOT added extra skilling. But Nuwa's capstone and best ability by far is the Pillars of Heaven, the box. It does amazing damage, and we're going to see how Proxy QQs get a face off against Xing with Nuwa, a character that, unlike most other mages, is hands down an auto attack character. That ultimate giving Nuwa the Metal Crystal, which gives her 10 seconds of double auto attack damage. Make no mistake, Nuwa can hit you very hard with those basic attacks.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Nuwa goes in the jungle. You know, we've seen her traditionally, well, untraditionally, as she's only been picked 4 times, but always in a lane type phase. In the jungle, it's going to be very interesting. Showing you on the left-hand side in your blue color, we're going to have Team SK Gaming. Captain Twig playing that Zeus mid. Proxy QQ is the character we've been speaking about thus far, playing that Nuwa in the jungle role. Look out for that. That's certainly what I'm going to be looking for. Badja and Reels X are going to make up that long lane on Odin and Artemis respectively, and NQ reprising his role as that Vamana.
You know, now that I think about it, Fog might de-aggro cats.
I never thought about that.
It does for Brutalize.
It does.
And I think it does for the cat call. So if there's a situation where Xing's cats are chasing down someone near Nuwa or Nuwa herself, and she lets the fog take her invisible, it's likely, and, well, not necessarily likely, but possible that the cats will stop attacking. Well, hopefully we'll see what happens at some point in this game, but that is an option that could be a very nice counter to what Snipe's going to bring to the table. Now, we do have some interesting early awards, and a ward is going to be spotting out Xing and Wolfie at this speed buff. I believe they saw it fall to the ground, so Snipe probably won't be caught by surprise, as they do have a ward on the mid camp. That's going to show them that NQ and Captain Twig are there, so no invade. On the left-hand side, Incontinentia will be waiting at the left mid camp, and it looks like he's going to clear that by himself while Allied and Nick work on the blue buff.
And the minions have spawned, the players are off, and the buffs are down. We're sitting right here at the beginning of the game. Everybody's going to hit their lanes, and we're going to see how well. So Incontinentia really loves the Athena pick, and for some reason she's been a little less popular. Do you have any insight into why? I mean, is it really just the rise of the Warriors and
Yeah, I think it really, really is the rise of the Warriors. Now, Athena is very popular because, or Athena is very good because of that global ultimate, because of the global rotation to help people in other lanes, and the global presence from Snipe's dual lane is absolutely incredible. They've got double globals, and that's going to go a great mile to allow Xing to secure kills in other lanes. However, Athena's not a warrior, and Odin in a 1v1 is a little bit stronger, but if Incontinentia can land both hits of the shield wall onto a single target, the amount of damage that it can do is tremendous, and that's going to actually happen to Badja. He's dropped to less than 100 health, will be forced to run away with Sprint, not electing to go Blink once again.
Yeah, you know, the Blink is very, situational. It doesn't work all the time. It seems like you see a lot of like Blink Ymir is a snap pick and Blink Odin is a snap pick, but sometimes the Heavenly Agility is the more team-oriented idea, and in an intense, not finals, but tournament like this, you want the most for your team.
Yeah, it's all about that team play, and both of these teams have a setup to do that. I mean, you've got Circle of Protection and Lightning Storm, 2 very powerful AoE ultimates, and you've got the potential to find picks with the Vistet Cat Call and the combos that can come with that. And, you know, Nuwa's Pillar of Heaven is very good at that too. You can burst people down very quickly with Pillars of Heaven, Flame Strike, and just a few auto attacks. We'll see if Proxy can nail that combo, but the story of the game is still aggression on this dual lane. Real CX dropping to 150 health, Badger being able to heal off, and now Snipe is double rotating for that mid camp. They are able to do this because they have pressured the duo lane so hard, and that's going to allow Snipe Gaming to get both mid camps at the 2-minute 20-second mark.
Yeah, this is something that, you're not going to see Allied playing Neath rotate out of lane too much. This is just sort of like a get some extra experience from the mid camp. They're not going to miss anything. We'll take a look. We're looking at Captain Twig at the moment getting pushed onto his tower. And actually they're going to get hit, so he's going to lose a little bit of gold. And taking a look over to the solo lane, NQ and Wolfie are just kind of hanging out, doing their thing. Wolfie's getting a lot of sustain from that second stance power cleave, which is going to be able to heal him up. And here is the talking point of this match. Proxy QQ in the jungle on Miwa. I've played her in the jungle a couple of times and I enjoy it, but never.
Oh, but in the middle lane, Captain Twig will go down. That's your lot to take first blood using the circle of protection. I mean, every ultimate, honestly.
The circle of protection, the lightning storm, and Xing just fell right away. That's going to be a red pot as we are 2 minutes shy of the 5 minute
No, that's
mark.
not Xing, that's Captain Twig.
Oh, that's Captain Twig. So that's going to, we are 2 minutes shy of the 5 minute mark. He's going to go home and pick up shoes. Out comes the ultimate from Proxy. Very slow is Nick walking through that wall. That wall, of course, will deal damage as well as slow. So definitely something to look out for there. You're going to see Proxy sort of cover this lane for a while. And really do what Nuance used to doing, push the lane. But here she is getting the safe Harpies in the back, just sort of doing what he does. And then as we take a look at the left-hand duo lane, Badger is sort of pressuring, pushing forward, trying to create an opportunity, but more just making sure that SNIPE can't create their own opportunity.
Yeah, and SNIPE's team comp is really made for forcing kills. They just have so much global presence and so much power in the lane that Captain Twig on Zeus is going to have to itemize very defensively, and then even then he might not survive. We'll see what happens, but expect to see very early active pickups. We've already got a full sprint on Captain Twig, and it's likely going to be more than that. But NQ is rotated to the right camp. Spirit Ball will come through. That's going to allow Xing to secure it, and Xing's going to be jumping out, but 3 stacks have come out. Xing will be stunned. He's able to get away as the Flame Strike does not connect. The Cat's used defensively, and World Weaver is through. It's going to connect on Captain Twig, and there's Wolfie, Defender of Olympus. It's going to land. Captain Twig gets Goomba stomped by Incontinentia. 2-0 for SNIPE Gaming.
Yeah, great plays coming out from SNIPE Gaming. I love that combo. The Fearless Power Cleave with the Athena ult coming down. It's really almost unavoidable at that point. We see the teams sort of working in the middle lane. Nick and Incon hanging out against Proxy and Badger. Just cleaning through the lanes, making sure that there's adequate support for each other. We take a look at the long lane. We just have the standard Hunter matchup. Allied is about a level above the Reals. I'm not sure it's a full level. I think it's probably more along the lines of half a level, and they push the lane forward, which allows Allied to go ahead and get that blue. Actually, both teams are going to do it in tandem. Synchronized duo lane right here today, Krat.
There's one thing that I do want to talk about for Captain Twig. He's got Sprint 3, and you only get 2 actives. He'll probably need beads, but he's not going to be able to get an Aegis Amulet. And I think the Sprint 3, unless he can juke everything, could lead up to actually result in his death quite a lot. It's going to be good for getting away from the Cats. However, I think he needs more than that to survive the Tyr and the Athena and the Isis and the Neat. It's just so much pressure onto Captain Twig.
Yeah, I mean, that's the danger of that Zeus pick. He provides so much damage. We spoke a little bit yesterday about how he's burst, but he's burst after a couple of seconds. It's all about the ramp-up time for Zeus, and in that time, he's very vulnerable. Here comes Proxy providing a little bit of support because he knows Xing is in the vicinity as these left Harpies are about to spawn. Both left and right Harpies are going to spawn about the same time. In the next 30, make that 5 seconds.
But Wolfie, he's got the blink, and Captain Twig is in trouble. The Ring of Protection comes down, and this is just a brawl, but Circle of Protection in the Odin Ring, that's going to be good, and Proxy QQ goes down. Now NQ's in trouble. He's going to the big baby and aggressing forward, but he can't find a good target. I mean, it's going to be Wolfie on Tyr, but what can you do to a Tyr? He's just going to dash away with that Lawbringer. Now Nick in a bad spot, but Incon's there to peel, and SK didn't have anything there. 2 for 0.
Yeah, that was a great play by SNIPE Gaming. Make sure they got all the right targets. Incon looking for Badger, looking for that taunt. If that taunt was good, that would have been an amazing play. And Nick play on Isis. He showed us yesterday. His play on Isis rivals some of the best. I would say one of the better Isis players in the league right now is Sayo.
I think it's Sayo and Nick really for this Isis. And I've seen Stealth play a really good Isis, but not so much recently. I think right now you could safely say Sayo and Nick are probably the two best, but
I think Nick's taken it recently. You know, I've always been the one to say, you know, Sayo's the one. Sayo and his mustache really push ISIS to the limit.
it's really the mustache that does it.
It definitely is, but Nick and his Justin Bieber haircut have done absolutely crazy things for this ISIS, nailing those spirit balls through the wall. Man, ISIS is one of the more exciting characters to watch play. She's so combo-based and so skill-based, and when Nick plays at such a high level, when he comes out with the ISIS, it's so exciting
Yeah,
to
but it's
watch.
very much free-form combos, which is cool.
Yeah,
Tyr has like a list of combos. ISIS is free-form, and speaking of Tyr, he is going to get ganked by Proxy, but the box isn't enough to keep him in. Tyr's just such a mobile character. It's such a tanky character as well. He's going into a steal now.
Here's Shing coming up behind him. Wolfie's looking for the Fearless. The Fog is going to peek him out. The Lawbringer slows him down. The Fearless is going to miss, and that allows Proxy to walk away. That miss providing such good both movement speed and a shroud. When we can see it because we're spectating the game, but when Proxy is inside that mist, the big circle around him, unless he attacks, which he certainly did
or
right
is
there,
stunned,
he's invisible. So obviously he's generally around the center, so you can sort of guess, and you'll probably see somebody spot that out, but for the most part he's completely invisible, and that's going to do a lot of work in the sense of making quality direct attacks like Fearless really miss out.
So let's talk about this dual lane matchup for a while. Artemis has pretty good poke, but Neath has pretty good sustain, and I don't think Artemis can actually kill Neath.
Right.
Because the moment you drop Tusky, Allied is just going to backflip away, and Tusky will not be fast enough to secure that Neath. It's going to require more than just that, but Shing is going to find Proxy in the jungle. He's rooted. The cats come out. They're going to aggress onto Proxy, take him down. Now slowly chasing, and they're going to get a slow onto RealZX. He's hit by the Spirit Ball.
Beautiful block
on the
by
ground.
Badger.
Nicely done, and RealZX, he's going to escape. He's got 50 health, but Scumbag Tusky's still there. He's slowing down Snipe, but not slow enough. This should be the Gold Fury at 9 minutes, 30 seconds. But Badge is in the area. He's going to jump in. Snipe Gaming takes the Gold Fury and Fearless into the wall. Badge is in trouble, but Lightning Storm inside the Odin Shout, or Odin Ring. Wolfie's in trouble. But I think Badge is going to be the one in trouble. He falls, Wolfie falls as well. NQ's in the engagement, and Incontinentia's forced to run away, but the detonate will not be in time, and Snipe's able to trade 1-for-1 with the Gold Fury. Big advantage.
Yeah, one of the real key points of that play, the reason Wolfie was kept alive is he stance switched. He was able to put himself into defensive stance, which gives him extra protections and really just protected him against the onslaught that SK brought. Eventually he did fall, but right away, that was what allowed him to stay long enough to bring down Badger.
Yeah, it's also, you know, there's just some situations where you're going to die. Proxy might be in one of those situations. He's just going to back off there. He's trying to steal the blue buff away from Wolfie, but Shing was in the area and not going to let that one happen. Although Proxy is rotating in, he wants it. He's just going to find Kane, forcing that fog. Razor Claws come out, and Proxy will take a fair amount of damage, but it's also important to note that Nuwa has an additional 10 HP 5. Now on the left-hand lane, Allied is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Allied's running, followed by Badger. The sprint is good enough to disengage. Everybody really doesn't want that need. And you know, talking about this dual lane crit, that's a really good point.
Oh, Wolfie on the right-hand side going to blink over the wall.
World Weaver. Wolfie's still right here. The Lawbringer's going to box over. Proxy's going to make sure he misses the Fearless Dig in that bubble. But now NQ's here. He's got a cat on him or two. Shing going to stay alive throughout the disengage from Zeus. Even though the detonate wasn't enough to kill him, he's slow, and then NQ's going to hit him with the cone attack to bring him down. So good play by Shing, but not enough to stay alive.
Yeah, Creeping Curse just does enough to keep him in that play, and Snipe had a good idea there. It just didn't work out.
Exactly.
As the rotation from SK was really good. Zeus got his damage in the right place, and Shing just wasn't able to get away in time. Weakling Curse securing that kill with the very, very powerful slow on a rather low cooldown. It's really the opposite of Sprint, and Shing having to get an Aegis Amulet, unable to pick up Sprint, but that Aegis is definitely going to be a good pickup this game. It's going to do a lot to deal with this Zeus, and now we've hit a little bit of a passive area. The lead coming out of Snipe dropping by about 800 gold off of that engagement there, but they're still in a good spot at the 12-minute mark, and it's Snipe Gaming who's looking towards extrapolating their lead and becoming a big pressure in this burgeoning mid game.
Yeah, exactly. We actually have 6-2 kills right here on the side of SNIPE Gaming. Definite decent advantage, shall we say. And, you know, we always talk about how 2,000 gold is where you start to talk about what it's worth. But at this early stage in the game, that's enough of a lead to say that right now your leaders of this Smite launch tournament the game one best of 3 is definitely SNIPE, so to speak. What's it called? SK is going to have to do something that's just to put their foot in the ground, really solidify their situation. And right here, Nick's trying to make that happen. A stun onto Captain Twig, some wing gusts, but these two characters are not really able to tower dive just.
Oh, but on the left-hand side, there is a tower dive. RealZake's going to be in trouble. The ring is down, and Ally's going to have to jump out, but Incontinentia is going to be able to secure that kill, giving his life for never mind. Caster's Curse, he's able to get out. Captain Twig dies in the middle lane. Shing able to take down Proxy as well, and kills across the map. 4 down from SK Gaming.
That is a great play, a separated play, 2 separate engagements for 2 separate sets of teammates dying.
I mean, that's 2v2 2-0.
Yeah, that is.
It's too good.
Get out. That was a fantastic play. Great call to go for the tower right here. Allied has enough convenience. It's not going to be enough really to take down the tower, but it's going to bring it very low. And if Allied can wait...
Oh, Nick in the middle lane, though. Defender of Olympus not going to arrive in time. NQ using his ultimate to get out and heal up a little bit. Shing might be able to secure this. His pounce will be up. He's got a red buff. There's the cat claws. Not going to... Oh, the pounce, he gets it.
Pounce! Pounce back. We have 2 members, Proxy and Captain Twig, coming up the lane looking for Wolfie. Shing's very low, so he's going to opt to back off. And Badger and Proxy sniff out Incon all by himself by the heartbeat, but he's able to ensure that absolutely no problem. And he's down there. The Gold 3 is going to be rezzing a little bit soon. So teams are starting to position themselves near that, around that, something they want to look at. And now Incon and Allied are just going to opt to play the safe game and get the blue buff. Wolfie's hanging out in the mid while Proxy's pushing his lane. You know, Wolfie's tower is about halfway down, and Wolfie is starting to walk the long way. You know, teleport to towers has fallen off a little bit. People haven't been buying it so much, and Wolfie is looking for Proxy. He's lurking. He's going to opt to go the safe way. There is a ward right here. That's Snipe's ward, actually. There is no ward for SK. That was just pure intuition. Proxy knew that he can't stay up that far, that long, and that's just experience credit. That's just him sitting there and knowing the game.
Yeah, and it just comes down to the jungler finding farm in a lane that was empty. NQ had died, so if that farm just sat in the lane, it would have gone to waste, and the jungler, well, it's a good play for him to go over there and pick that up. Now, we do have an Athena going on this left-hand lane. Dash in, Tusky's forced out for no ultimates, and that is a win either way. Nice positioning from SNIPE Gaming, able to force out that boar, and off of that, they're going to go for the Gold Fury.
They really are. They're going to get this Gold Fury most likely. The cats come out, and so do ultimates. The ultimates for this objective is such a good veteran call. Badge is lurking. He has the Hawk Fury. Snipe has secured it, but down comes the ring from Badger. All by himself, surrounded by 3 members of Snipe. That is a very dangerous play. Boxy Proxy with the double kill. Shing's going to make him pay. Allied with the root. Going to basic attack him down in that snake form. But now Allied and Shing have to back off. Badger is coming with Proxy, and that's going to be enough to disengage, but that's going to be a 2-0 engage in exchange for the Gold Fury. Mathematically, that's going to work out about even, but the kills mean so much. Badger's here, Allied's by himself. The slow is good with the Whirlwind, and Allied's just going to opt to go against Real ZX. He really wants this kill, but it's not enough. Wolfie, however, in the solo lane, going to pick up the solo kill, and this is an aggression onto the tower. Wolfie might be able to take the tower all by himself as he has a full wave of minions.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be able to take this tower, but Proxy on the left-hand side most likely will be able to get it, but I'm more worried about Shing going onto Captain Twig. 3 ultimates, 1 kill. It's a Zeus. It's worth. It's always worth for the Zeus. You just have to keep him down, and having Captain Twig at 2, 5, and 2, it's pretty good, but it's not good enough. He's still the 2nd highest on his team. He's still a problem, and he will always be a problem.
Very true. We're sitting at just below 17 minutes here, folks. It's 38,000 to 45,000. That's an almost 7,000 goal differential in the way of Team Snipe. They have just got the first tower of the entire game, they have just got another tower. They've only lost one tower themselves, is what I was referencing, but they just got down the solo tower as well. Wolfie getting a solo kill and a solo tower, really proving why you shouldn't let Wolfie get that tier. We're looking at 13 kills to 5 as the players sort of regroup, try to figure out the next play for the next advancement.
Yeah, and you know, I love this build out of Wolfie because it's so confident. Mystical Mark is an amazing item in the duo lane. It does a great job of pumping out that damage. However, it is counterproductive with Blink, because if your Mystical Mark ticks on something, you're in combat, you can't blink. That's fine when you're Wolfie. You know what you're doing to the level that you're not going to let that stop you. It's a little inconvenient, but it just comes down to better positioning, and he'll be fine. And now Snipe Gaming, they're grouping up around the Fire Giant. They are on a ward right now, and SK is going to be able to spot them out, especially with that Odin's Birds of Wisdom.
Yeah, you know, Snipe definitely knows that they're being caught out, and that was the plan. There
Oh,
comes
but
the blink.
NQ.
There's the fearless power cleave combo. NQ's already very low. Using that ultimate, Shing doesn't care. Shing gets the kill. Now we have 3 members on top of the tower. Badge is getting poked out
Proxy
a
on the
lot.
left-hand side. World Weaver comes through, but it's not needed as Wolfie secures that with Fearless, and this is a split engagement that is now regrouped. Snipe Gaming 5 up, SK Gaming 3 up, and that is a recipe for one thing.
Fire Giants.
I was going to say Meatloaf, but that too.
Snipe is looking here, 5 members against 3. Nothing really they can do, and Snipe's going to do the same damn thing. They're going to bait out the Fire Giant enough to pull them out of position. Everything onto Captain Twig, and everything down. Real Zach's taking a lot of damage, going to opt to walk all the way past the tower. That Snipe could take this tower if they so choose. They really have anything that they want. NQ and Proxy going to res up very soon. The tower has fallen. The taunt comes out. Badger going to take a lot of damage, and now Snipe's going to turn around, look at the Fire Giant most likely, but with Captain Twig rezzing in about 15 seconds and the rest of SK Gaming up already, this 9K lead doesn't mean enough. This could be this is a risky call, Craig.
This is a risky call, and Snipe has the wards to spot it out. Yeah, they're going to find that SK is here. They are on ward, and they know that SK has vision on them. They're just going to back off. Likely will leave Nick here just in case, as Athena could rotate in from Defender of Olympus. They don't want to give SK a chance at an uncontested Fire Giant, but SK isn't going to be looking for them. They're just trying to find farm, and that makes sense. I mean, at this level of play, Snipe isn't going to give them that opportunity, and SK knows that, so they're going to take this opportunity to find the farm because they need the farm. They're sitting down 8,500 gold. They've got 2 inner towers up, 3 Phoenixes up, and Snipe Gaming is poised to win Game 1 of this best of 3.
Yeah, we're only at 20 minutes. There's a lot of Smite to be played, but this is a very determined lead, and it all depends on how Snipe plays it. They need to play the lead and milk the fact that they're almost 9,000 gold up, but at the same time, they have to be careful. They have to make sure that they don't play too overconfident. In fact, that's the reason they're in this bracket in the first place. They played spectacularly against Cognitive Gaming, but they made 1 or 2 very hyper-aggressive calls that eventually spelled their doom. As long as they can keep up, keep the crowd on their side, this very momentum-based team
Proxy?
can keep this
Okay,
going.
he's all right. Wolfie, he's looking for a pick. He's looking for an opportunity, and he's going to
Hiding
spot out
behind
Proxy
the
here.
bush.
This is bad news, but he's not going to go for the blink. His team just wasn't close enough.
The entire team of SK was waiting there. Wolfie might have been lurking behind the bush, but all of SK was lurking behind in the middle lane. And good thing Snipe is a communicative team because they spotted that out and called it out. Ally's actually going to talk to the gold 3 all by himself. Badger's going to come by himself as well as 4 members of Team Snipe engage on that. And then Wolfie stays in the middle lane. Snipe is going to go ahead and take it. Out comes a bunch of everything. A taunt, a wing gust. Down comes the Zeus ultimate. Badger taking a lot of damage, but he is that tank. This is the fight. Itcon takes down the enemy support. The Hog is down. Shing takes down Captain Twig. Everybody's low for SK Gaming. Looking at Nick and Shing, but 2 Aegises in tandem. Boxy.
Oh my
Proxy
God,
still
Shing gets him.
She gets the kill from out of nowhere. The Defender of Olympus is going to use defensively, and now we have a turnaround.
Oh,
Itcon
Wolfie
with
came
the
back.
World Weaver. Fearless fearless power cleave. Reels is down. NQ's gonna suffer the same fate, but Clear the Path is gonna make sure that's not the case. And with 4 members for Team Snipe up and 1 member for SK Gaming up, that has put Team Snipe definitively in the lead. A 10,000 gold lead with 13,000 experience split amongst the 2 of them. Ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting here at the 22-minute mark. Game 1 is out of control. Snipe is on top.
Now, there were 3 amazing plays in that team fight. 2 from Snipe, 1 from SK. The first play, and this seems small but it's huge, Wolfie gets pushed out. He runs off to blue buff, defensive power cleave, power cleave, heals him up, he's able to come back in. The second play, just whatever killed in God Ninja. It was so much damage out of nowhere. The third play, Shing turns it around, but now here comes some more. Captain Twig's in trouble, getting juggled by Wolfie. Will not get secured just yet, but Lawbringer, no, Allied will get that kill. Now Proxy's gonna drop the box. It's not gonna find anyone, and with the box down and circle protection up, this is gonna look like Fire Giant for Snipe Gaming.
You know, this is their main play. They keep pulling Fire Giant just so that they can fight SK, but this time it looks like an actual play on the Giant. Wolfie's here, NQ's rushing in. He does have that confirm up, but Wolfie has the fearless power cleave. NQ's gonna go down. SK Gaming steals it with the Badger Hog.
Oh, but it doesn't matter.
Incredible. Reels is gonna go down. Everyone's gonna go down. Proxy, the only one alive in that solo lane all by himself with the Fire Giant. Now we see Nick and Allied pushing up this middle lane, looking for the tower. The whole team is going to take it. This is going to be a tower and a Phoenix at the very least.
And here's what it comes down to. Sometimes it's great to go all in on the Fire Giant, contest it, take it, turn the fight around. But when you're down 10,000 gold, you get the Fire Giant, it doesn't matter. SK couldn't actually contest it. They had to steal, and Proxy will fall. Captain Twig's in a tough spot, but he should be okay for now. The Cats are going to get caught up a little bit, and they won't be there. Badger jumps in. His Magi's Blessing is dropped immediately. The mid-Phoenix falls, and Snipe's going to back off. They don't have Fire Giant, and SK did slow them down, but they lost a tower and a Phoenix, and that 10K lead became 13K.
Yeah, you know, the stolen Fire Giant when you kill the entire enemy team really doesn't mean much. And right here we see exactly why.
I mean, it's better than killing the entire enemy team and getting Fire Giant.
that for sure is definitely correct, but you know, everyone except for Proxy died, and since Proxy was by himself, he had to walk away, which essentially is the same thing as dying. That opened up the entire middle lane for Snipe to just walk down, go to Costco, and take it all and bring it on home. The first Phoenix is down. There's 2 Phoenixes still up, but this is the foot in the door, and Snipe is ready to kick it down. Sitting at a 13,000 gold lead is Snipe Gaming. We're right here at the 25-minute mark. Snipe still has 5 entire towers up with SK just a single tower to their names. The kills are extremely lopsided, 25-6 at the moment, and we're sitting waiting for something to happen as Snipe is looking at this left-hand lane. Zeus is sitting all by himself. He's got 4 members of his team, and Proxy's in the mid trying to play defensively against the fire minions, and SK's actually going to relinquish this tower to Snipe and defend under the Phoenix.
Yeah, they have to defend under the Phoenix right now. Now, 15K. I mean, this is just so rough, right? You don't even need Fire Giant at this point. You just have so much gold. And if Snipe finds the right engagement and doesn't die to the Lightning Storm, they're going to be good. There's the blink in from Wolfie. He's not going to find anyone. He's going to be forced to get out of there. Not going to be able to. Will get taken down, but that's a lot of ultimates just for him. And there's still 4 members of Snipe Gaming alive. They're on the defensive. They're backing off, but look for the opportunity to turn. Nick uses the Aegis. He's going to get caught out, but will slow down SK. And he's actually winning 1v3. Will get taken down there. Snipe's going to disengage. They didn't get the Phoenix, and that's unfortunate for them. Gold Fury's about to spawn. They might take it, but they're just going to walk past, and that could be an opportunity for some gold for SK. Either way, Snipe did lose that fight, but not by enough for it to really matter.
Yeah, they lost that fight. You know, sometimes you don't win all of the fights, and they're actually going to, SK is going to go for the gold Fury. This is the first step for a comeback. Snipe has to go go back home, regroup, recover, recoup, re-mother themselves, and, you know, lick their wounds and head back into the fray. Shing's going to opt to get some jungle buffs. We see Badger, after that gold 3, going to go on home, buy some stuff with his new gold. That gold 3 is going to whittle the lead down to 11,000, which is still just as commanding.
Yeah, I mean, SNIPE Gaming's still in a good spot. The Fire Giant will be spawning in about 2 minutes, and that's going to be the next point of contention for SNIPE Gaming. So far, they've been doing good with that. They just, in that situation, Wolfie missed his Fearless combo and wasn't able to get back out because of the massive burst damage dropped directly onto him. He is building pretty aggressively. Although Stone of Gaia did just finish, that's going to help him out a lot. But nonetheless, he cannot take the brute force of the entire SK Gaming lineup turning on him. And it was a 2 for 0. SNIPE still looking good. And they're going to get the Magi's Blessing off of Badger. So that helps. SNIPE looking for an opportunity.
Right, that actually wasn't beads at all, as Badger has Confirm Hog, which is called Wrath of the Gods, and Heavenly Agility. That was just the Magi's Blessing, as Kret likes to pronounce it. And now SNIPE is looking for something. They're looking for something aggressive. They're looking for something to happen. Incon is up in front with the Magi's Blessing. He finds
Reels.
Captain Twig. But Reels is taking a lot of damage. The Larlet Bringer's gonna slow him down. The Fearless Power Cleave is enough to bring him, and here comes the Goomba Stomp. Defensive is what it is, but it still provides a lot of damage. Circle of Protection is gonna heal up. Proxy is gonna take down Wolfie, but everyone's stuck in the box. Shing's gonna take down the big baby. Now Incontinentia stuck, looking for a taunt. Gonna be dodged by Proxy, but not the Spirit Ball. That's gonna get enough just so that Shing can disengage, and now that is a 1-for-2 engagement from SNIPE.
Oh, Allied gets caught out, though. He's going to be able to backflip. 1 stack going on to him. The lunge coming through. Beads. It's going to drop off the Magi's Blessing bubble. I think it just came up, and SNIPE's going to disengage. 1 for 2, that's pretty good, but it's not enough to get them the Fire Giant.
Nah, it's not enough for them to get the Fire Giant whatsoever, but that's what SNIPE needs to do. They have to keep making sure that they don't make mistakes. And right now, they haven't really made the mistake. That wasn't the greatest fight. They probably didn't want it to go that way, but coming up 1v2 is definitely a solid thing. Now, I want to touch on something. The difference between this level play and lower level play is the consumables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wards on Team SNIPE. 2, 4, 6, 8 wards on SK Gaming. There is vision all over this map and tons more left in the pockets. And right now, all the vision is based around the Fire Giant.
Yeah, they need to have this warded up just so they know what's happening. The mass amount of counter wards coming out from SNIPE Gaming will allow them to make sure SK can't get vision, but SK has counter wards of their own. They're going to look to put them down. Badger will drop his Magi's Blessing bubble again, this time not at the cost of the blink, and Wolfie once again looking for engagements. This is just, you know, SNIPE Gaming's got a good spot here, but Birds of Wisdom will...
Wolfie's looking for a pick-off right here. He's hiding in the shadows, lurking in the back. SNIPE is engaging. The pounce up forward, the pounce on back. The box is down, the ring is out. Wolfie's taking a lot of damage, so is Incon, but the story is in the circle. Captain Twig is going to take down Wolfie before he can do anything. Fighting around the Fire Giant. Allied is on the defensive along with the rest of his team. Allied is down with the rest of his team. Shing is running away. Incon is also, and they have split up. The choice is clear. It's against Shing, and Proxy with the beautiful stun from the Fire Pillar is going to make sure that he has nowhere to run. Incon is the only one left alive in addition to Nick, but he's the one you want up. He's the defender. He's the support. He's the one with the hog, but he's also the one dead at the hands of Reels X. This is going to be a Fire Giant for SK Gaming. They are chipping away at this lead. If you wanted a tutorial on how to make sure you are not taken down before 20 minutes, this is it, Kret.
Well, honestly, no. I think they already got their tutorial from Cognitive Gaming, and they're following. I mean, this is the same thing. This is the same thing. SNIPE can't close out their game, and it's... I think their back might have been broken off of that play there. I think SK is going to be able to aggress and probably take the game.
I don't know about the game, but they are going to get that tower. They're able to push up forward. As we see, everyone res up. Incon's going to be up in 10, and you can't forget this is still a 4K lead. That resulted in a tower, but not a lead. These lanes aren't going to be any more powerful. Snipe is still up a decent amount. It's still 27 kills to 13 kills at the 31-minute mark. You know, Snipe still has a 3,500 gold lead as we take a look at Proxy heading back to base with that Fire Giant buff. Everyone seems to be heading back to base with that Fire Giant buff. So this Fire Giant is more of a defensive than an offensive Fire Giant. They didn't get it and go for the usurp of the victory. They took it and they defended it. It was basically just to prevent Snipe from taking it and winning the game.
Well, and to recover a lot of gold.
Oh, 100%. It resulted in a lot of gold. Previously, we were looking at like an 11,000 gold deficit, whittled down all the way to 3,400 at the moment. And now SK is going to aggress on the Gold Fury to bring that even lower, but I don't think this is SK's game to win just yet. They still need to make a couple of good plays in addition to that, and now it's 2,000 gold, and we are very close to a tie game.
But you know the morale hit for Snipe Gaming is going to be huge, and that's definitely a factor here. Another factor is SK has very good late game. Artemis late game, Zeus late game, dare I say it, Nuwa late game, Vamana late game, and Odin to make them all do more damage. And now Odin's going on the aggressive. Incontinentia is getting absolutely wrecked. His preemptive strike does hit Odin, so he's not able to dash away. Lightning Storm only getting 1 tick of damage off, and Wolfie gets a very nice Fearless. The follow-up from Snipe isn't there, and Shing's gonna get taken down by Reels X. Ally goes to Badger. That's 2 down so far. Wolfie's gonna go in with Lawbringer. He's going to actually find Badger into the tower. The Goomba Stomp coming in is not going to connect, and Wolfie down to half health. Reels X looking for the kill, but gets stunned out.
Beautiful taunt!
Yeah, but you don't want to taunt that many people onto you. It just hurts, and this Phoenix will go down. The first Phoenix of the game goes to SK, and they're in the lead now. That's a comeback.
That's the first Phoenix for SK. There was a Phoenix taken down by Snipe earlier in the game. So now you can say the teams are about even. 1,500 gold, going to extrapolate to 3,000 gold with that tower kill. Looking at this middle Phoenix, this could be a lot of trouble for Snipe. They need to do their best to defend this, and SK is going to do everything they can to make that not possible. A Great Spirit Ball going to hit NQ, but not before he takes down that Phoenix. And now they're on the third Phoenix, but this one, Snipe can definitely defend. A beautiful blink into Fearless Power Cleave combo is going to send Wolfie through both walls of the Proxy. Proxy coming out. Wolfie going to fall immediately to Reels X. Beautiful burst coming out of that Artemis with the Fire Giant buff. World Weaver coming out, not enough to take down Reels X. Shing's going to secure that. Now the Phoenix is still up. It's poking onto Badger, taking lots of damage. Now 3 members. Badger's down. That's going to leave a Wrath of the Gods on the floor. NQ is the only one alive, and he doesn't have it. Captain Twig doesn't have it. There's neither Gold Fury or Fire Giant up, so Snipe can't make use of that. But with that many members down, 3 members.
Oh, Ally gets caught in Lightning Storm and deleted over aggression into probably the scariest ultimate in the game.
Very true, you know, and that's the opposite of what Snipe needs to do. But we have a game, ladies and gentlemen. Snipe had a resounding lead sitting at the 34-minute mark. Earlier in the game, Snipe had a resounding lead. The game was in their hands. A couple of misplays, and not to discount the great plays coming out of SK, even it up. Looking like they were about to take the game away from Snipe. Snipe said, no, we will not go down without a fight. They turned around. They played a great team fight right there. They took down 3 members, giving themselves another day to live on. And at the moment, we actually see a 3,000 lead in the way of SK Gaming. But at this point in the game, Cret, gold doesn't mean much, if at all. It's all about how these players are going to play individually. It's all about how these players press their buttons. But most importantly, it's all about how these players think about the next play and maintain their emotions. The next play is going to be over the Fire Giant. We already see SK lining up, ready to fight, ready to position. And if Incon gets taken out right here, which he better not, that's going to be the game. Everything revolves
Shing
around
still has a
this
Wrath
fight.
of Gods, though. That's important. There are 2 confirmed hogs, but Wolfie's going to get caught out, taking a fair amount of damage. Badger not finding the slow he needs, and Snipe's just going to try and position defensively here. They do get the Magi's Blessing Bubble off of Badger, and they're looking for an opportunity, but honestly, they have to wait for SK to start a fight or start the Fire Giant.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're looking for. Snipe actually gets a nice route onto Badger with Allied coming out with that Spirit Arrow. So we're going to see 5 members of Team Snipe, 5 members of SK sitting right here. Incon's going to fake a recall, just kind of baiting out some abilities from the enemy team, trying to make them use their mana. Wolfie's caught out by himself. This could be bad. Both Reels and NQ are on his tail. The Lawbringer comes out fearless. Both fearlesses are going to be there, but here's Badger. The blink is good. Beautiful timing on that. Wolfie is totally safe. You know, his health is still up as well, and now we have 5 members of SK close to the Fire Giant, still looking to fight.
And here's the thing, if they just wait, the fire minions will do enough damage to that Chaos Titan that it will fall. SK has a win-win situation. Either they sit around the Fire Giant and wait, or Snipe backs to defend and they take the Fire Giant, but Shing's here, he's got a Wrath of the Gods, and he's going to look for an opportunity, uses the Aegis Amulet, Fire Giant sitting at 50%, and look for that chance to steal, but Badger's there, Incon dashes in, SK takes the Fire Giant, Snipe has to wipe them now, they start Real ZX, and the Circle of Protection is out in the Odin Ring. Incontinentia heals up a little bit, but he is going to fall.
Wolfie
no,
gets
he's not.
Proxy in the back. Incon's still alive. NQ is chasing down Shing. Allied falls to Captain Twig in the back, but now NQ is completely surrounded. Fire Giant doesn't mean much when there's 5, 3, 2, and now he's in trouble. Captain Twig does pick up Incon, but Shing gets NQ. Shing is on fire without the Fire Giant. Captain Twig is actually going to dodge a beautiful spirit ball coming out of Nick, and Shing is just barely getting away. Not quite, says Badger. You're going to go down with this Titan already down.
And the Titan's so low, he's going to buff the creeps. With the Odin
creep.
Shout.
Odin Shout buffs the creep. Badger takes it down almost single-handedly. An amazing comeback for SK Gaming as we take a look at them. NQ rubbing his head. Both teams had to be sweating it. That is just game 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, what a comeback. And you know, honestly, if you're Snipe Gaming, that is an open wound, and it just got punched.
And there's NQ waving to the camera again, the colorful character that he is. He showed us every single time that they come out that he is ready to play, ready to fight, ready to go, and he has the character to go with it. There's Proxy, our local karaoke fiend over here. Both teams are excited that they played this game, and you know, even though Snipe let that up, they still have to be powerful and feel on that. Shing went 14, 4, and 12, ladies and gentlemen. He did very well, and they have to keep on to that. They have to keep on. They have to hold on to the positives of this game and not the negatives, because although the end result was negative, there were so many positives that Snipe brought to the table they can't forget.
Yeah, they just couldn't close it out, and now they've got to figure out what they can do differently next time. But let's talk about the stats. When we're looking at itemization, once again, Team Snipe is Team Aegis Amulet, 2 of them coming out from Nick on Isis and Shing on Bistet, and they made really good use of those to mitigate a lot of damage coming out from SK Gaming.
Yeah, there was a beautiful play in particular around the 18-minute mark where Isis and Bastet were both in trouble. They both activated Aegis at the same time, and then they both turned around and killed their aggressors. So very exciting stuff that can come out from the Aegis Amulet, and we're seeing them used to their full potential for sure. And that's what you're really going to see out of Snipe. Snipe is really good at, in general, pressing their buttons. It seems like a really basic situation, but when you have 345 magical power as Nick had this game, you can do so much. You know, he only had 2 kills and 4 deaths, but those 19 assists cannot be forgotten. Silences, full-length spirit balls. They heal from the Circle of Protection. Isis is such a multifaceted character and difficult to play, and Nick shows everyone, every single side of this character, and the result, although it didn't result in a win this time, it's still amazing.
Yeah, really great play coming out of Nick, but let's talk about SK. Badger is just on point with those Odin ultimates. The Odin Zeus combo was a big factor, but more than anything, Nuwa is real. Nuwa did 28,000 damage. The boxes were great and had a huge effect on team fights. The Flamestruck did a great job of securing and peeling. The Clay minions helped with a few towers there, and the Fog made people go fast.
don't push it on those clay minions. I think they did have a little bit of impact, but right here I really like the approach with Proxy. You know, Nuwa didn't provide much in the gank department, but at the end of the day, the jungler doesn't always have to gank. I'm gonna throw it back to DJ Pernicus again. You know, we asked Proxy before why he plays shock jungle, and his answer was simply team comp. A lot of my friends, a lot of my teammates like to play magical, so I go physical. Well, in DJ Pernicus' case, he goes bruiser jungle so that he doesn't have to gank. And then late game, you just have a chalk in the game. That's similar to what Proxy did right here with Nuwa. Didn't really play that dedicated ganking jungler position, just kind of existed in the jungle. And then when push came to shove, he was like, all right, time to murder people. I will do 28,000 damage.
And when it came to ganks, what really could compete with Neath Bastet plus Tyr plus Athena and then an Ice? I mean, there's just the ganks from SNIPE Gaming were so strong and so difficult to deal with that SK couldn't compete in that regard. They could only team fight, but boy could they team fight. They were able to hold off SNIPE Gaming, recover from a 13,000 gold deficit, and take the game. Beautiful play.
Yeah, it was great play coming out from SK, and we've seen SNIPE drop a couple of games, and it really is about closing out the game. SNIPE really needs to work harder to close out these. It's not a question about working harder. Every team that's here is definitely working on all 18 cylinders or however many they have under the hood, but it's all about closing the game and doing what they need to do. We know these teams are confident. SNIPE is one of the most confident teams in the league, but SK just came out and they made beautiful plays. The story right here is less about SNIPE losing and more about SK winning.
Yeah, for sure. SK did it. They played perfectly from the moment they weren't even given an opportunity.
Nope.
They just took it.
So, you know, the SK victory is all about we do not wait, we create. Sometimes that happens, and that's exactly what went down. That was just the first game in a match of 3. I would not be surprised, Craig, if we see SNIPE take this next game and bring it to 3. These are two almost exactly matching teams. Both these teams can do incredible stuff. Myself, I'm excited. You're excited. Kret's excited. We'll see you in a few.
Yeah, the biggest thing here is style. Again, now we're going to come into this game 2 strategy. You like Russian Bot.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's game 2. That match, I'm sweating, Kret. That match was absolutely insane. Both teams went absolutely crazy, and now we're waiting for the next game. We're going to be pulled into picks and bans very soon. Actually, we're being pulled in at the moment. So SK is still on the left, and SNIPE is going to be on the right, and we're going to see what's going on. We're going to talk about Allied, perhaps? Let's see what Allied can do. I wonder if he's going to still pick Neath.
Well, they're going to change their bans. Still no Zeus ban, still no Odin ban. This time, Shock and Vamana. They don't want to let Vamana through because Vamana was such a problem for their backline and such a problem for Isis. Odin still, they feel they can deal with it, and I agree. And they still feel they can deal with Zeus, and I agree. I think it's minor changes.
Right, yeah, it is minor changes, and NQ has proven in this tournament that he is a nasty Vamana. He's proven that he can play Vamana to the utmost level, and it is not something that SNIPE really wants to mess with. We see right here on the screen, SK has won 63% and SNIPE has won 68% of their games. That is the closest differential of win-loss rate that we've seen thus far. So that's something absolutely incredible. I love to watch these two teams play, and like I said, I think a game 3 is in the cards. SNIPE played absolutely lights out. They just could not tie the shoes for the deal. But this next one, I think could definitely go to SNIPE.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they're gonna pull out in this game. They have to find a way to close it out, but they totally can. I mean, it's just they got an amazing ramp up of gold. They found a critical point, and they just couldn't close out with the Phoenix, and that's what they need to do. So they just need to figure out how to do that. And, you know, granted, it's very hard to take a Phoenix when your opponents have so much AoE.
Yeah, no, that was the problem for them, and I think NQ's Vamana was really the story of the match. There was just so much area of effect damage going out. Vamana was able to bring everyone down to low HP, and that's really what made it happen.
Yeah, I mean, and the Zeus. Just, that's what Zeus does.
Well, the Zeus was the finishing factor. If NQ wasn't able to get in and bring everybody low enough for Zeus to seal the deal and kill, that's really, you know.
And it was also just the zoning. I mean, you're going for the Phoenix, right? You have to stand there and hit it, and Lightning Storm covers the entire area. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't get in, and they have to figure out what to do to deal with that. They have to figure out how to do. And you know, one option I think, Shell.
Shell?
They've already got the circle protection,
Okay.
and I think that extra 45 protections might be just enough to make the difference.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to have our bans coming through. We've got a Nemesis ban, we've got a Chalk ban, we've got a Hell ban,
For Wolfie.
we've got a Vamana ban.
For NQ. And that's what I really like to see. These targeted bans, these players know that they're playing against individual players. It's not just about the gods and the numbers anymore. If it ever was, it's about the gods. It's about the players behind the gods. We're actually going to see Neith picked up for Allied. That's all basically he's been playing this entire tournament, and tier on Wolfie. We saw how scary that can be, and we're going to continue seeing how scary that can be.
Yeah, for sure. But once again, it's going to be Odin Zeus from Badger and Captain Twig, and now a Ra likely going to be going to NQ in that
Yeah.
solo lane, and it's a character he's quite good with. Since his Vamana is banned out and his tier is taken, that's a good pick. We're going to once again see Isis, but this time the tier's not going to go to Wolfie.
Yeah, the tier's not going to go Wolfie. If this Chang'e is picked and pushed into her, locked in rather, that's gonna, the Chang'e is going to go to Wolfie, and the tier is going to go to
It's not going to be
Shing,
Chang'e.
but it's
They're
gonna be
changing it out.
switched
They're waiting.
up. It's not going to be locked in. You know, so teams do have a certain amount of time to pick and then lock in. Athena is one of Incon's absolute favorite gods. We've seen him do a lot of work. Before Geb came out, that's almost all Incon played. And people forget about that, but the level of play that Incon and Enchia can play Athena to is insane.
Now, why do you think they don't want Geb? I mean, that could have been Geb. Is it the ganks?
You know, it might be the gank. I think it's more about the lane clear. You know, because Geb is more about the later game, and SNIPE is going to aim to win this game before the 25-minute mark. I think they see what can happen if they stay around for too long. They see what can happen if they let their opponents stay and hang on. So they're going to want to secure this, not immediately, but immediately.
Now, interesting, we've got a Guan Yu on the table, likely jungle for Proxy, and that's not a jungler we've seen in quite some time.
Very true. Guan Yu is a very interesting jungle pick. You know, it does work. The previous iteration of Guan Yu was possibly a better iteration for the jungle. But if you're comfortable on Guan Yu, he can be a very big beast to work against in the jungle. Cavalry charge, even it's disorientating, and that's one of the cool things about Smite. It's not just about the pure numbers and mathematics, it's about the player feeling. And when you hear the horse come out of the jungle, you just hear this giant horse sound, and you hear the swing of Guan Yu's giant pig sticker, if you will, you know something bad is coming. So let's take a look at one of our matchups. These are our premier junglers. Proxy QQ hailing from Germany, Xing hailing from San Antonio, Texas himself. They're both the 3 seed, and their win-loss rate is almost identical. Look at those kills, assists, and deaths. Almost identical again. And their gold per minute, Xing is leading about just under 20 gold above, but it's still virtually the same. The matchup between these two guys is virtually identical. Xing has a little bit more of an aggressive playstyle than Proxy, but we're going to see what happens as we get pulled into the game, exactly how that works out.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what Xing is going to do with tier.
Yeah.
Both Wolfie and Xing are capable of playing it, but and Xing's very good at Bastet too. Now the other interesting thing is they still have Neith, but they don't have Bastet. And I guess they just think tier is going to be enough to keep that Zeus on lockdown. We'll see whether or not that's true, but you know, I love the pickup of Chang'e.
Yeah, the Chang'e pick is definitely very good. Wolfie played it very well the last time he played. They unfortunately dropped the game, but Wolfie wound up with a very good numbers and with respects to healing, very good numbers with respects to overall slash lines. And you know, unfortunately, it's a team game, and the game was dropped by SNIPE. But we're gonna see what can happen. Waxing Moon is so powerful, and it befits SNIPE to use that. They really like to force the team into fights in jungle lanes. They really like to force the enemy team into fights where places that they don't want to fight. And with the Waxing Moon able to stun on so many players, if it hits so many players, that's going to be a big factor in today's game.
Yeah, and if Waxing Moon can be comboed with Circle of Protection, that's just an absolutely devastating combo. But Zeus Odin is still in this game, and what is more devastating than Zeus Odin?
Yeah, that's the matchup. Not even the matchup. That's the combo we have to talk about. Badger and Captain Twig. You know, as we spoke before, we referenced it. Captain Twig going to be playing into the mid on that Zeus. He has an ultimate that drops a giant circle down and hurts a lot. Badger has an ultimate that prevents you from leaving a giant circle. So essentially, you can lock them. You can lock the enemy team in the jail that is Thunderstorm coming out of Captain Twig.
Now, what's interesting is there are a lot of wards coming out from SNIPE at level 1. One on their blue, one near the enemy blue, and one on this mid camp. Very covering wards. And actually, Incontinentia will get spotted in the mid camp, forced off. That's going to be a big blow to SNIPE Gaming start, and it's going to result in 3 people in the middle lane. But SK, Badger, and Reels X, they could be invaded on by Incontinentia and Allied.
Yeah, that's insane. They got both mid cams right there, all due to, you know, this was originally a play to prevent being invaded on, and they got invaded on.
Oh, he used the hog already. Incontinentia has the opportunity. Spirit Arrow gonna steal that away, and now Badger's stuck at level 1. So is Reels X. That blue buff will go to SNIPE if they get the chance to pick it up, but Reels X is gonna be defending that one. And Artemis without blue buff is very unfun to play.
Artemis is already sitting at about 40% HP. Of course, it's level 1, so that HP is going to regen rather fast. Incon just hitting level 2 as well. So we're going to see this dual lane matchup going to be very interesting because, as you said, we spoke before about Artemis being the queen of poke, but we didn't talk about the cost of that. It is so costly to use that number 3 ability all the time. You know, suppress the insolent. Takes a lot to suppress some insolence, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it takes a lot of effort and therefore a lot of mana. So Artemis will be blasting through that, and without a blue buff to do it, it's probably just going to be sheer lane control coming out of SNIPE Gaming. Is SK doesn't have what they need to clear the lane particularly effectively. But let's talk about this solo lane for a moment. And Wolfie and Shing are playing very aggressively. They're going to be able to outpush their opponents, which is nicely done, but you know, outpush not by too much. It's still no creeps in the tower, as NQ's repeated Celestial Beams are enough to take down the creeps.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see this Guan Yu in the jungle. Proxy QQ has done a great job of entertaining us with the different picks going on. He's actually using the beautiful 2014 convention skin offered if you are here live in Atlanta, Georgia, along with Brett and I. And it's something that's going to be exciting to watch as Wolfie gets NQ in the solo lane all by himself. That's our Logitech first blood. Shing did help a little bit, but that's going to be our Logitech first blood, and that came very quickly at 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
Yeah, a great first blood, going to give them a huge advantage in this solo lane, and we know Wolfie. We know how he plays mages, and he's got his sights set on one item.
Do more.
Yes. Do more.
Do more, you can do more, and that's what he's looking for. And with Chang'e, it's a safer pick than anything else. Proxy's going to get in his face, and a nice ultimate coming out from Wolfie to stun him right there. Maybe a little early, but here comes a lot of ultimates. Out comes a World Weaver, out comes the Defender of Olympus, and NQ's just going to block it very, very casually. Nothing really going on right there.
You know, that was actually a really good play to use his ultimates there, just unfortunately, and foreseeably, but not expectedly by SNIPE. NQ did arrive in time to support Proxy. If he didn't, Proxy was assured dead. No way out of it.
Yeah, no, not at all. But you do have to take into account Ra's passive. Every single ability that he casts allows him to move a certain percentage amount faster. 10%?
I think it's like 8%.
8% per ability, stacking up to 3. So that's going to allow him to walk up that lane so much faster compared to other solo laners. So that's really what provided him. If he wasn't Ra, that was a dead player in that solo lane.
Yeah, most likely, but you know, we are going to have our camp spawning in just about 40 seconds. Both these teams do have their sights set on that, but it looks like Shing is in the right lane. Looks like he's trying to set up Wolfie, and he's going to actually find NQ. Heavenly Julie's out. The blink from Shing is not going to work, as Ra and his blind and slow is just too much for Xing to be able to land that Fearless.
Yeah, it was a combination of the divine blessing coming out from NQ, which is the slow and the blind. A combination of that, the ability, the passive ability that lets him move faster, and he also used Heavenly Agility. Ra was just going way too fast, taking a lot of poke from these minions. Going to wind up about half HP after that, but Xing and Wolf, Xing has already rotated to the mid camps, and Wolfie has already rotated back. Right mid camps are going to go to Snipe, left mid camps are going to go to SK.
Now Wolfie not able to finish his Doom just yet, but it will likely be up within the next 2 minutes. And now these teams are just clearing their jungle camps. Note that the blue buff for SK Gaming has not been taken down yet on the left or the right hand side, and because of the quicker clear coming out from Smite Gaming, they do have the opportunity to invade, and as a result, SK Gaming is going to rotate their jungler over to secure that blue buff. They want to make sure Artemis has that mana available to her, and it's very important, but the rotation is going to slow down Proxy's jungle clear just a little bit.
Yeah, Proxy just hitting level 6 about, so he has that cavalry charge. The red buff just fell off. He's going to go ahead and get this blue buff down for NQ. First blue buff, not the first blue buff for NQ, it was Artemis that didn't get her last blue buff, and now she's sitting pretty with it as well, as both these buffs have engaged. But now we see an engagement coming out. Proxy's going to make something happen. Going to use the hog, but not enough. Snipe is going to take away another blue buff.
So what was really brilliant there from Wolfie was he used Waxing Moon, his longest range spell, to hit the camp, make it aggro onto him so that Proxy couldn't reset the camp. It's an ultimate, but it's for a nice objective take, and that's going to help them out in that solo lane. Yeah, Xing did attempt to dive, didn't work out.
He's going to miss that Fearless, and that's going to result in just a reset. NQ sitting here at level 8. Wolfie sitting as well at level 8. Pretty identical farm here, even though like, Wolfie has killed NQ. That's actually a logic of first blood of the game, but you know, NQ's doing a good job of staying relevant, staying in this game, doing everything. He's about half a level behind Wolfie at the moment, but it's just it might as well be equal.
Now in the middle lane, we do have lots of players grouping up. These camps are about to respawn. Badger waiting for the left camp, but Captain Twig's in trouble. The Lawbringer, the Blink, World Weaver coming through. It's not going to secure the kill, and they actually turn trying to get Proxy down, but both players forced out. That will result in that mid camp. A lot of ultimates used for it, and Snipe's going to be waiting for those ultimates to come back up before they really push onto anything else.
Yeah, that was a good play from Proxy, trying to provide some basic defense for his friend Captain Twig. You know, Captain Twig might have been able to get out of there without the help of Proxy QQ, but that's all he needed, was just a heal, and he was out of there.
Yeah, and now Snipe Gaming is going to be returning to their usual. We've got Wolfie stacking up his Doom Orb and pushing NQ very hard in that solo lane. That's what happens when you have Doom Orb and your opponent does not. You just win.
Very true. Wolfie's going to return to his solo lane. We have Isis and Zeus hanging out, returning to the middle lane. This is a very passive game. We had an extremely early kill, resulting in first blood at the 2-minute and 18-second mark. And now, 5 minutes later, absolutely nothing. 7.5 minutes in, we have one kill on the side of Team Snipe. 21,000 gold to 19,000. It's going to be a 1,700 gold split.
Oh, NQ in that solo lane, though. He's in trouble. Will get comboed. Goomba stomped by Incontinentia. That's going to be your second kill of the game, and Snipe is just putting a lot of pressure on this solo lane, allowing Wolfie to carry, or get in position to carry, because Chunga is such a strong late-game character.
Very well said right there. It's all about feeding Chunga. It's all about getting things down. And Badge is looking to make Chunga be the feed E. Getting the ring down, doing a decent amount of damage, but he is a support. Great taunt coming out from Incon. Great slow coming out from Incon as well. The horse is going to come out to prevent the stun. And Wolfie's going to go down. That's going to reset the Doom Orb stack. He's going to get Proxy in the process, though. And now Twig, both center laners have rotated over. Badge at about 25%.
Oh, Detonate used too early, though.
Yeah, it did use too early, but he's got the slow, he's got the circle of protection, he's got the kill. Nick brings him down. No detonate available, as you can't detonate while dead. Nick's gonna walk away unscathed, gonna return to lane. Xing's gonna get those mid camps, and that is gonna bring up the lead to 2,000 gold.
Nicely played from Snipe Gaming. They are controlling this match, and though Wolfie did die, it cost SK Gaming a lot to get that kill. And while his Doom Orb did reset, it's still at half stacks, and he still has much more magical power than his opponent does.
That's very true. That Doom Orb has about half stacks that he was up to. Magical Shoes going to provide 20 magical power, and Captain Twig just has 50 magical power from Shoes, although he does have the extra 20, so that's about 70 magical power total for Captain Twig, whereas on the other side, Wolfie is going to be sporting a little bit more than that. So now, once again, back to the passive game, and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see calculated plays come out of Snipe a little. This is what Snipe tends to do when they lose pretty hard. They take their all-out approach, and they use that only when necessary.
Allied in that dual lane, though. He's in trouble. Will receive Defender Olympus to stay alive, and because of that, no continued aggression from SK. They're just going to back off. And a big rotation out of Snipe just to cover because, well, if they needed it, they would have been there. Now Snipe Gaming is in the left jungle, and potentially they're going to find an opportunity to go on someone. They don't have their Athena ultimate, but they still have Shing, Wolfie, and Allied, and Nick with their ultimates. They've got everything but Defender of Olympus.
Yeah, Defender of Olympus has been a key point in these ganks. You know, the repeated combination that we keep seeing is the Fearless Power Cleave combo, etc. come out while Defender of Olympus is channeling. It prevents anybody from really running away or using abilities because they're being Fearless juggled, correct?
Yeah, I mean, they just get juggled, stomped by Athena, and it's a massive amount of damage. So Snipe Gaming is sitting up 3 kills right now, 2,000 gold, and they're still looking to expand their lead. They've got a nice lead going into that middle game, and we're going to see what they can do with it, but Shing could be in trouble here.
Shing is caught out by the mid, all by himself. Proxy, jungler versus jungler, but Wolfie's here. The horse is coming out, going to prevent the stun, but Wolfie's going to get the kill onto Proxy. The Zeus ult practically wasted. Couple of charges on Shing, but not enough to make it a story. But the story right now is Badger, Fearless Power Cleave from Wolfie, from Shing, and now he's stuck. The Circle of Protection is going to provide him with a little bit of heal, a little bit of sustenance, not enough to provide him with the life. Badger's going to escape by the skin of his teeth. Incon as well. Allied with a beautiful root, but Reels is going to beat it. The NQ is going to kill him, and Reels is going to secure the kill onto Allied. Reels is going to secure the kill onto Wolfie as well. That's a double kill.
Oh man, SK just caught Snipe out there. That was a big recovery, and with the location that they killed Snipe at, they're going to be able to pressure this tower, but Nick's here. He'll be able to defend. Perhaps the Gold Fury. No, it looks like they're just going to back off and take this left mid camp, but man, that was a really good recovery from SK Gaming. Now they're grouping up around the Gold Fury. Isis is here with no ultimate. Maybe she can do something. Defender of Olympus coming in. Incontinentia, he's going to be here. SK Gaming takes the Gold Fury. A nice snipe coming through, and Incon will fall. Nick is out with 50 health, and SK has recovered once again. They're in the lead, 1,000 gold.
Yeah, that's a 1,000 gold deficit for Snipe. This is a turnaround at the 12-minute mark. 5-5 kills. We are tied up even. This 1,000 gold lead might as well be a 0 gold lead. This is an even game, ladies and gentlemen. Snipe had a slight lead, and SK wanted to make sure they could not extend that. Taking a couple of lives, taking the Gold Fury. They are now even. Both teams need to be looking to farm up and looking for the next objective. Yeah,
and the next objective's probably not going to be for a while. Now, Wolfie is still stronger than NQ in that 1-for-1 because of the Doom Orb. He does have to stack that back up as he did die, but once it gets stacked, he should be okay. So look for Snipe to still be making sure that Wolfie is able to farm all right. Allied heading back to that dual lane, trying to stack up his Heartseeker once more, and it's just defense right now from Snipe Gaming, waiting for the opportunity. But based on the way that Wolfie is playing and pressuring NQ, perhaps the solo lane tower is an opportunity for Snipe Gaming. A gank attempt goes out on SK Gaming. Defender of Olympus is late, and the Fearless did miss. Shing just not able to connect with that one.
Yeah, I was looking for the combination right there, but you don't always hit your abilities. That's the beauty of Smite, and that's the beauty of that situation. 2 wasted ultimates for absolutely nothing. And now SK's on a much different foot in this solo lane, but the tower differential is there. SK's solo lane tower is at about 55%, whereas Wolfie's tower is barely scathed, sitting at about 95 to 97. Lots of health amongst the towers right there. And we're going to see the left mid camps actually go to SK. So that's going to bring up their lead. We mentioned before how 1,000 doesn't mean much, 1,500 doesn't mean much, but if that keeps going in that direction, that is going to mean much.
Yeah, now Allied just uses backflip, the cavalry charge coming out, and Proxy's going to aggress, finding the sun. Beads come out, Allied's going to be okay, and Proxy could be in a bad spot. Tusky comes down, he's going to find Confidential, who's able to charge up his preemptive strike and back out. Snipe Gaming will be okay under the left tower, and there's no rotation coming in just yet. Nick's walking over, Shing's on his way, but Nick doesn't want to get caught out here.
Yeah, that was a great play from Incon, actually. One of the more nuanced plays as SK, all of them start to siege over, shade over, trying to make for a siege. So when Tusky is dropped, the boar, the ultimate, actually, here's a different ultimate. Badger drops the ring. Nick drops his ring as well. He's going to get stunned out from Zeus with that Zeus Odin combo. The detonate's down, but the stomp is not. He's going to actually get stunned. Badger's going to take down Nick, no problem. Reels is going to take down Incon in the back. This is a 1-for-2 trade at the moment, but Allied and Reels there boxing. Reels wants to download him into his hard drive, but not quite there. Allied's going to walk away. Shing can get caught out, trying to provide some backup. Reels is turned around. Shing gets the kill, provided by Allied. Tried to snipe through the wall is NQ. Not enough to get Allied. Very slippery right there. Beautiful turnaround from Shing and the rest of his team. But let's talk about that Allied play coming in with 5% HP.
I mean, that was just beautiful, and part of the problem was Reels didn't realize he was on a weave. Allied found it, popped it, and was able to land a few hits. And it's so hard to hit the auto attacks on a moving target when you're standing perfectly still. These players do use their positioning to augment their aim. It's very important, and Shing was able to get in there, secure that kill. So Snipe able to get a little bit of turnaround there, but there's still they were in the lead. SK recovered. Now Snipe has to recover, but they have all the tools they need. And one of the things to note is that Badger has 3 kills, which means the gold's on him instead of someone else. And now, granted, a kill's a kill, gold is gold, but you'd rather have that on Zeus.
That play was the definition of Allied, pure confidence. You know, he's a realist. He lost the fight against Reels, as no pun intended, you know. But Reels came through. He was aggressing against Shing. You mentioned the weave. It didn't matter how that fight looked at the beginning. All that matters is a story at the end. Allied turned around, hit the shot, got it down. That secured the kill, and that secured the fight. Sitting at a 2,000 gold deficit. Proxy's going to get caught out. The fearless power cleave combo, and now he's down for the count. NQ's also in dire straits. Gets the world weave, but the beads is going to prevent anything from happening right there. But this tower, Cret, this tower is in trouble.
Yeah, and the rotation from Captain Twig is going to be enough to stop Wolfie's aggression, but only for now. Wolfie will keep the pressure up, and his damage is absolutely absurd. In the middle lane, though, Badger is in trouble. The Spirit Ball will connect. Now the silence into a taunt. He uses his ring, gonna jump out, and Lightning Storm isn't perfectly centered. Snipe Gaming is just gonna group up, walk out of there, but the ring is down. The Lightning Storm is down. Circle of Protection is still up. Defender of Olympus is still up. And this is a Gold Fury attempt coming out from Snipe Gaming, and it's up to Tusky and Reels X to really defend. And apparently Chain Lightning, Captain Twig takes down Shing.
Yeah, Captain Twig is going to take Shing. Tusky hit every member of Team Snipe. SK is now looking at the Gold Fury. They're going to get it. Team Snipe needs to turn this around. All they can do is back off. That was a very risky play and perhaps one of the largest misplays we have seen today. We're sitting just under 18 minutes. Snipe had led this game earlier. Instead, SK has taken the lead. It's at 3,600 gold lead. Both teams are even in kills. Both teams are even in towers, but the gold tells a different story, Cret.
Man, Chain Lightning, what a good ability. I mean, that's what it comes down to with Zeus. All of his abilities are great. You've got an ability that bounces back and forth, adds stacks, does good damage, and there it just allowed Shing to get taken down. Incon rotating over to this right-hand lane, trying to support Wolfie. SK is going to spot that out and just back off, and now Snipe sitting down lower, 4,000 gold behind. What do they do to catch up?
You know, it's all about the small picks. Snipe is still in this game. 3,600 gold doesn't mean much, if anything. 3,600 gold spread amongst 5 players. You know, that's 35 divided by 5. It's just not enough. That's about 700 gold per player. 700 gold per player is about 1/3 of an item. It's not going to amount to everything, especially when you consider that Badge is the one with 3 kills. Reels X has a lot of the kills, and that's going to mean a different story. But when Badge is the one with 3 kills, 700 gold per player is spread out. It's not going to be as big of a deficit as it seems mathematically. So right here, Snipe might as well call it even in kills, even in towers, and basically even in gold when you break it down like that. Snipe doesn't have to pull out a drastic play like some of the more bigger differentials we've seen in the past. Snipe doesn't have to make an aggressive play. The numbers don't tell the whole story, and right now we're going to see a passive gameplay and wait for the next opportunity on an objective.
Yeah, Snipe has to play defensively here as the aggressive play just aren't working out for them. Now, they do still have amazing gank potential if they use their global ultimates, but they can't do it willy-nilly. They have to find people who are truly out of position, and for now, just keeping the pressure up could be sufficient, considering Wolfie is doing a great job in the solo lane. He still hasn't gotten the tower, but he's getting the tower, and it's taking a while, but it likely will happen.
That's the story of solo lane. You know, the old adage when you talk about solo lane is that it just doesn't do much until 25 minutes. And Wolfie's sitting here at level 18. His opponent, NQ's level 17. If you look at their difference in gold, you know, the, NQ has about he's sitting at 352 gold per minute. Wolfie's sitting at 373. That's a 50 gold above. That's going to be a lot of differential, and Wolfie is really controlling this lane. We've talked a little bit about Wolfie's hell. We've talked about Wolfie's tier, but Wolfie's Chang'e is the story of this game. Xing is going to lurk. He's going to clear this wave, which is going to spot him out on the mini-map and prevent the gank that was happening. But with Proxy in the lane as well, not looking for that gank anymore.
Yeah, Proxy is just going to be able to keep this tower alive by essentially babysitting the lane, and Wolfie's not able to aggress on that. He is going to find NQ in the jungle, but NQ is just too fast, able to walk away from that one, and Snipe is still waiting. They know they have to be careful, and they do. I mean, they really do. Zeus.
Yeah.
You have to be careful against Zeus, and they can deal with it. They can kill him, they can dive him, they can defend with circle protection, but they have to play it right. And part of the recovery is that they didn't. Part of the recovery is that Captain Twig was able to stay alive, he was able to get his damage off, he was able to carve through Snipe Gaming with Chain Lightning, Detonate, and of course, Lightning Storm.
Yeah, Lightning Storm is such a powerful tool. Snipe believes that they can outplay it. Snipe believes that they can deal with it. It's just a matter of making sure it doesn't last, that Zeus doesn't make it to the late game.
Yeah, and at this point, it looks like Zeus is going to make it to the late game, which is a problem, and I'm not sure Allied's Neath, well, not really Allied's Neath, Neath in general has had a big enough effect with that global ultimate. Only 3 assists coming out of 8 kills. That's not too good, but Badja is going to find Xing and Nick in the middle lane, drops the Odin Ring, Lightning Storm does not come out, and the Combat Blink and Lawbringer will be dropped. Nick is vulnerable within the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, that Combat Blink has a 3-minute cooldown. Lawbringer, on the other hand, has a much shorter cooldown. Lawbringer isn't even that important to the pure volume that is tier, but Blink certainly is. Out comes the World Weaver onto Captain Twig. The bees is going to be enough, and Proxy's on the horse. They're going to try to turn this around. Circle of Protection is down. A beautiful Spirit Ball is going to take down Captain Twig. Xing gets credit for that, as he does get the last hit. Proxy's in dire straits, as well as Badja. Reels has made the rotation. Wolfie's going to get taken down by a myriad of abilities. Nick's in trouble now. The Aegis has just fallen off. Now he's looking to win us, but a lot of damage coming out from Reels is going to secure that kill. Xing and the rest of Team Snipe are on their heels. A beautiful blink from Badge is going to hit the whirlwind. Going to kill Xing in the backlines. Not quite. Yes, quite, says the jump. Now he's down. 4 members of Team Snipe down from a beautiful aggression at the 23-minute mark. The full wave of minions is going to hit this middle tower, and it looks like SK has their eyes set on the Fire Giant.
And they're going to be able to get it. They've got 2 sustained characters. They have the Odin for the shout, and they have Artemis, a very high damage hunter. Now her base value's not that good, but 2 steroids, 15% crit, 75% attack speed. It's just absolutely crazy damage, especially when combined with the Odin Shroud. And now SK is waiting. They're looking for an opportunity to trap off Incontinentia. They weren't able to find it, but with Fire Giant and 5 towers available to take, they're sitting at up 7,600 gold. They're going to go up 1K, 2K, 3,500, 5,000, 6,500.
Yeah.
So that's going to be about 15,000 gold. That's going to be rough.
Yeah, now the gold is definitely a different story from that 3,000 we saw before. This soloing tower is going to go down to NQ by himself. The mid camps are about to spawn, but nobody's eyes are on that. The Fire Giant is ticking. There are bigger things on SK's plates. They take their gold fury away. Absolutely no contest right there. And now they're moving on to jungle buffs.
Yeah, they're going to be able to grab this blue buff on the left-hand side. Allied can't really contest it, though he might try to steal. Probably not going to happen. Reels X is here, and his damage is just too high. We do see him critting for 700, and you know, Arthas is one of the few characters where getting that rage or the Deathbringer first is a good pickup because of the added crit chance. Reels is going to be doing very, very high damage right now. They're going to give him a red buff. That's going to increase it even further, and SK should be able to push, but Shing is in the middle lane trying to split push. Will get found out by NQ. He should be able to get out of this. NQ is not on the left-hand side. This is a 4v4, but one team has a healer, the other team does not. Snipe potentially could engage here.
Yeah, Snipe could engage. I don't know if they should, but judging from their past experiences, I think it's something that they definitely want to do. And here it comes. The ring is down. So is the Isis ring. Wolfie's taking a lot of damage, but heals up a lot, both from himself and Isis. This is a wash at the moment. SK Badger taking a lot of damage. The tower is going to go down, and Snipe is going to defend under the Phoenix. SK is going to push this Phoenix as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members of SK are turning around, got their eyes set on that mid tower. They are looking to wipe out the entire board of towers, and they're on their way to do just that. But a beautiful 3-man route coming out from Allied with a single arrow is going to do that work. Out comes the Defender of Olympus. A beautiful stun ball comes out, but not before Shing gets brought to the wayside. Captain Twig going to take down Allied as well. Proxy on the horse going to chase Wolfie out, and Incon's going to walk out as well. Nick is caught out, going to play the recall race game, as on the right side, Incon's going to fall, and Nick does get out. So that's going to be a 3-for-0 engage. Wolfie and Nick are still alive, but the middle Phoenix goes down. The right Phoenix is already down, and that's good. Both Phoenixes are up, and they just had so much damage. The middle Phoenix is the one that SK has their sights on, and that's going to fall right now.
Yeah, and with 5 members of SK up, you're likely going to see another Phoenix go down. The snipe comes through, will hit Wolfie, will not kill, as he does have that Void Stone to give him some added protections. Now the left Phoenix goes down. SK still has 5 up. They're going to group up, likely take the right tower, potentially the right Phoenix. And that's just, they're sitting at 17,000 gold. 2 Phoenixes down. Snipe is going to be very hard-pressed to recover. But they have seen 2 recoveries like this against them. Maybe they'll find the opportunity, and taking down Reels X is the start. Lightning Storm on the ground, and Wolfie's going to be able to survive for a while, but the Detonate will be primed soon. Captain Twig, he's in trouble. Aegis is out into the Fearless combo. The juggle. Captain Twig is dead, and that could be an opportunity. At the very least, Snipe is going to be able to hold off for just a while longer.
It's a beautiful play coming out from Snipe. Great turnaround after the turnaround, and we see SK is on their heels. Only 3 members are alive, Badger, Proxy, and NQ, and it's going to be 25 seconds before we see Reels, and Captain Twig has even longer to wait. Snipe really needs to make a play off of this. If they do not capitalize on this, they will be digging their own grave, and this is not a team that wants to do that.
Oh, Cavalry Charge in the middle lane. Snipe is going to be able to get that tower, and Cavalry Charge does not stun. The Snipe does not connect. Snipe should be able to back out. But Wolfie's in trouble. Odin's in the area. The cage goes down. He has to turn and fight, but he's not going to be able to. The raw heal just providing too much sustain. Wolfie will fall, but they get the tower. The right tower goes down. Still, Doom Orb lost on the Chunga, and it's going to be hard to stack at this point in the game, as you just don't spend that much time in the lanes clearing creeps. Though Chunga will likely do a fair amount of that with all of the fire minions on the map. Now the Fire Giant will be spawning within, let's call it 20 seconds. SK is going to be getting in position, dropping wards, being ready to take it, and they can just aggress on the Fire Giant. They're up 13,500 gold. They've got about 1,000 gold each in pocket, which could be worth spending at the very least on wards. The Fire Giant is up, and SK Gaming have their sights set directly for the Fire Giant.
Yeah, I mean, they took down Real ZX, but that was the second death of his. Only 2 deaths on a character with Heartseeker is very scary. At this point in the game, it's not going to be enough to really solidify anything, and SK is going to engage on this Fire Giant that just spawned. Actually, it looks like they're not. They're going to sit here and miss their basics on purpose. They're waiting for their team to get here. More importantly, they're waiting for the enemy team to get here, Fred. They're looking for an engagement. They're doing what SNIPE did to them last match. They started on the Fire Giant and they just pretended, and now they want to fight. Shing is flipping out behind Captain Twig, gonna miss the Fearless, and that's gonna spell bad problems for him. Allied is also right here. SK is sitting here and they're aggressing onto the enemy. Proxy's gonna take down Nick, and that is going to allow a Fire Giant realistically for Real Z and friends.
Yeah, Nick just got out. Shing able to escape, but remember, we still have a Hands of the Gods on Incontinentia. There is still a chance to steal, but he has to get in, get out, and take it, and he's not going to be able to get there in time. Fire Giant goes to SK Gaming, and defending at their last remaining Phoenix is the only hope for SNIPE Gaming. They still have their Waxing Moon available, and they're going to need to get a perfect Waxing Moon if they want to win this fight.
Yeah, this is all going to be up to Wolfie and his ultimate right here. They need to fight under this Phoenix. They need to defend this Phoenix. With 2 Phoenixes down, there's almost nothing that they can do besides defend this last one. Should 3 go down, we saw what happens when you have too many firemen and go
Oh, Waxing Moon whips, though. Incontinentia's in trouble. Ally getting aggressed on, and Incon will survive. Wolfie takes down Reels X. That's a start. Shing looking for the Fearless. No, he's just looking to disengage and is able to get out, baiting SK away, but Allied will fall. Wolfie trying to find Captain Twig, and he will not get it, but Shing will. Nicely done. Incontinentia coming in from Defender of Olympus, but there's the ring. Wolfie's caught in it
down
once again, and with this raw heal, SK is going to be able to sustain up. With the protections from the ring, they're going to be able to stay alive and kill Wolfie. Now Nick and Incontinentia will be defending as Shing is playing Janitor, cleaning up, trying to get that left Phoenix alive, but this right Phoenix is going to go down, and SNIPE is still in a bad spot. But they held.
Yeah, they definitely did. They held their own. They got a couple of kills. NQ trying to get SNIPE with Shing with the long-range snipe onto Team SNIPE. That's going to be the 3rd Phoenix down. The Titans already at 50%. Proxy and his friends are going to look to engage, but SNIPE has started to res up. Proxy's in the ring. Proxy got stunned out from the long-range Spirit Ball coming out of Nick. A good taunt is good on the Proxy. He's at about 20% HP. Going to go down, but another raw heal is up and ticking on him. Fearless into the power cleave. No stand switch this time. He's going to get out scot-free, and now 3 Phoenixes down. SNIPE has to do something absolutely insane in order to make it back.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the easy play coming out from SK Gaming. Here's the easy close. You stand right at the line outside of the Phoenixes where the first side entrance to the jungle is. You just stand there. And you say, you can't clear past this point. You ward it up. You make sure you know where SNIPE is when they push up. You wait for the Fire Giant to respawn. When the Fire Giant spawns, you sit there. You wait for SK to leave, or SNIPE Gaming to leave their base. If they leave the base, the fire minions push in, they will lose because of the fire minions. If they don't leave their base, you take the Fire Giant, you have 5 with Fire Giant, you all in the Chaos Titan, and with Zeus ultimate and Reels X's damage alone, it will fall. This is a win-win situation for SK Gaming if they play it right. And honestly, SNIPE's just going to have to pull something magical if they want to stay in this tournament.
Yeah, we've never actually seen a comeback with 3 Phoenixes down.
Not in the path to Smite launch, anyway.
Not at all. Here comes SK walking down the middle lane, just posturing. Out comes a bunch of ultimates. This is going to be the fight of the match. The ring is down from Odin. So is the ultimate from Zeus. There's a lot of damage going down. Real ZX going to be taken down, but not before they take down Wolfie and Nick in tandem. Proxy's going to grab Allied. Captain Twig is going to hit Shing. Shing's going to hit F6, and the Titan is going to hit the ground inevitably. This is a 33-minute game, just over 33 minutes. SK Gaming has secured the victory. That is the second game out of 3. Looking at SK Gaming, they are absolutely content. They are absolutely on fire. That right there is your man, your jungler, Proxy QQ. Captain Twig looking, patting his friend on the back, and NQ already standing up. Reels, though, taking a sip of that water. That is a story. Badger did do a great job. You can't count that out, but Reels X is the story. Twitter handle at RealZX. Man has less than 90 Twitter followers, and I have no idea why. He went absolutely on fire this game and proved just why they get the legendary brand that is SK Gaming.
I mean, what else can you say except SK Gaming?
Total hams. Total hams right here.
Total hams for sure.
And it's all about NQ. He is the man that loves the camera. They're just going to show it, and they're going to be proud of it. They earned this victory through and through. Snipe played an amazing game. Snipe played a very good game, but it's all the story about NQ. Trying to show love to the admins over here, but the story of these
It's really
games,
hard to show love to the admins.
Yeah,
They're not very lovable.
the story of these games is all about the players, ladies and gentlemen. The story of these games is all about the players, and we're actually going to have the opportunity to speak to the man with the plan of this game right now. RealZX is going to show up. He's going to show us what it took. So let's take a look at this scoreboard before we talk to him, and let's see what kind of stats we're looking at.
So when it comes to damage, there's 2 characters coming out from SK Gaming, Artemis and Zeus. Artemis sitting at 22,000, Zeus sitting at 28,000, and everyone else was providing support for those 2. Snipe put themselves in a pickle. Option A, kill the Zeus so your team doesn't die. Option B, kill the Artemis so your team doesn't die. But there's no option where they both die because there just wasn't enough damage coming out from Snipe Gaming, and they could not survive the Zeus, and they could not survive the Artemis. RealZX was able to just wreck through the Snipe Gaming lineup and allow his team to secure. And also it should be noticed, how does Badger have the best KDA out of anyone in this game?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, you can't discount the 6-0-12 from Badger, but I really think the story was RealZX. The way, even with the 4 deaths and the lower KDA, he's the one that pulled out all the stops. Tusky, he really utilized Tusky to its full potential. Not really sure, you know, how. We're gonna find that out very soon, because he's going to be down here talking to us, and he's going to show us just what he can do realistically. So moving away from the scoreboard, let's talk a little bit about what secured that victory for SK Gaming, Cret.
You know, I think part of it was the matchups. Artemis versus Neith is the lowest damage hunter because of a lack of steroid. Artemis, debatably the highest. Now, AMC is close, Shibalanki is close. They all provide different methods. His AMC is very fast. He's got good ability damage. Shibalanki does more raw damage than any other hunter. But Artemis attacks super fast for a short duration and crits more often than any other hunter because of that steroid on, or the passive steroid.
The passive, of course, is what he's talking about. There's a couple of things that are going on with that passive. What happens is it boosts up your crit chance for every basic attack that you hit.
Up to 15%.
Up to 15%. And 15% crit percent with absolutely no items is absolutely insane. That's why we like the Deathbringer early on her, and that's why she's able to do so much burst damage. We're going to talk to RealZX in just a couple of minutes. For Cret, my name's F. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Smite fans and everything in between, we are back. My name is still F. And I'm sitting right here with the man with the plan, RealZX. Is it RealZX or RealZX?
RealZX. I used to play World of Warcraft, and there was an American guy called Reals.
Yeah.
So I just called it RealZX.
You just want to be a little different?
A little bit different, yeah.
That's kind of the story about this guy right here. Always wants to be a little bit different, but still always wants to be the best. And that was the story of the last game. You know, Badger, we talked about Badger having a good slash on, but I really think it was you and what you did with Artemis. Talk to me a little bit about the Artemis pick. We don't really see her that often, and how you work Tusky. A lot of people complain about the ultimate.
Yeah.
I don't think you had any complaints. So what did you do to make her useful?
I mean, it was more or less the picks that they had. I felt the early game, like, we got bullied a lot by Allied. We got bullied a lot by Incontinentia.
There you go. Perfect
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Yeah, they bullied us a lot in lane, and I don't think the synergy with Odin was that great. But we felt like if everyone could play it out, and I got to mid-late game, that I would really come through as Artemis, you know. So that's what we planned for, and it kind of worked out perfectly both games for us.
Yeah, it really did. Now, how do you use, because you use Tusky, the boar, the Artemis Ultimate, better than almost anybody I've ever seen. What do you do to ensure that that you actually get hits with it?
Basically, I just try to either make sure I'm in the team fight, so it bounces around, you know, or if they're engaging on us, you know, make sure I lay it out and then try and get out so it can bounce around. I don't, sometimes, unless you think it's a guaranteed kill, I don't really use it on one person. Even if it's not, you're not trying to get a kill with it, at least it's bouncing through the team, you know, and just disturbing them a little bit.
Excuse me real quick. And now the second question I wanted to ask you, Nick, the center player for Team SNIPE, has been an absolute driving force in this competition.
I've seen.
Yeah, he's been absolutely incredible. You know, we were actually talking about how well his ISIS play has transcended the game. Clearly, that was a thing you guys were thinking about. What did you do to keep him down and out of the game? Because that was no easy task.
I mean, obviously, I don't really, as ADC, I don't really see too much of what happens over in mid. But obviously, Odin, even though he had combat blink, it's such a great pick versus any mage without an escape. So I think that helped. But yeah, Twig was playing well. I think it took him a couple of games to get into it. Yeah, other than that, I think it was just the Odin Zeus combo. At the end, I tried to focus him a little bit more, you know. I just hunted him down with sprint and trying to put him in bad spots.
Right.
Because he was doing a lot of work. And Xing as well, Xing's tier. So I was just mainly focusing Xing. Trying to shut him down because he's really good. I know how good he is, you know.
Yeah, exactly, and that's pretty much the story here. You know, it's the top 4 seeds of both regions, so that means every team deserves your respect. You're going to play a little bit differently because everybody here is good, and I'm glad to hear that you know it's not just one player on the team, it's the whole team. And speaking to that team, let's talk a little bit about your team. What makes SK SK? What is the driving force behind not just your wins, but your losses? What brings you guys together and makes you different than any other team in the past Smite launch tournament?
I don't know, I think that outside of games, like if we're playing well, we get on really well.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And like nothing to do with Smite, we get on really well as friends as well. So I think just part of that helps us play a little bit better, and when people start making good plays, like we bounce off each other, you know. So if I'm making a good play, then I see Proxy making a good play. If Proxy making a good play, you know, Enki makes a good play, Captain Twig, Badger, and everything starts to synchronize after that, you know, and it just gets better and better from there, it feels like.
Yeah, 100%, and it's definitely, you can see that snowball because it's not a mechanical snowball that we see in the game on the scoreboard. It's the intangible snowball, and you know, SK as a brand, you guys represent that. What's it like to represent such a legendary brand in esports like SK?
It's funny, really, because I used to play 1.6 when I was a little kid, and I used to worship SK's 1.6 Swedish team because they were the powerhouse.
Yeah.
You know, so I used to worship them. So to play for them now, yeah, it's a great honor.
Of course, we're talking about Counter-Strike 1.6. How long did you play that?
A few years. SunTouch played that as well. I used to play with him, so I knew SunTouch before Smite as well. And we met in Smite again.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
So you guys like departed after Counter-Strike and then met again?
Yeah. I didn't even know he played Smite. And
that's fantastic. I love seeing because a lot of the MOBAs, you see MOBA friends, like the MOBA players go to MOBAs, and sometimes they drag from RPGs. And Smite's really the first MOBA that's attracted shooter players, right?
Yeah. I mean, coming from World of Warcraft, I felt like it was an easy transition because like the skills are similar. I know it's not an MMO or anything, but using the skills in the same sort of ways, you know, to sort of counter your players and stuff. So I felt like it was kind of an easy transition. I've always liked MOBAs, but I never really liked the bird's eye view.
Exactly.
I didn't really like that. So first person or third person, it felt nice, you know, and skill shots as well.
Yeah, skill shots are definitely exciting. And now, speaking to your 1.6 experience, you definitely got a lot of LAN experience as well, because you were competitive, correct?
I've been to a few LANs, yeah.
All right, so talk to me a little bit about what your experience in LAN, because I know a lot of your SK teammates aren't as experienced. What can and have you taught them about the LAN experience that have made this a great team building experience for you guys?
Basically, because Captain Twig's never been to a LAN before. This was his first, and I think this is his first game that he's sort of played competitive.
Okay.
So I kind of just said to him that even though if you're feeling nervous or anxious or anything, you got to think that other team's going through the same stuff, you know. So if you're thinking of or you're gonna play passive because you're scared or whatever, you got to think they're going through the same sort of things, you know. The same things are running through the enemy's head. It's not just you, it's everyone,
Yeah,
you know. Everyone's
very
going
true.
through the same stage. So you're not just on your own. Everyone in the game is in the same boat.
Very true. And so, is this your first time to America, or did you travel internationally with Counter-Strike?
Oh no. This is my first time for a LAN here. First time LAN here. Yeah, I've been here on holiday and stuff, but first time playing at a LAN here.
All right, fantastic. Well, once again, this is Reels. This is Reels X Carry Hunter for Team SK Gaming. You can find him on Twitter at RealZX. Make sure to hit that follow button. Definitely worthwhile. Once again, my name's F. I just want to personally congratulate you
Thank you
on
very
your
much, F.
victory. Well earned, and we'll see you later on for the next games.